first ever meeting between these two schools. It's Missouri and VMI. You saw the head coaches embracing pregame. A couple of guys in Dennis Gates and Andrew Wilson who are very close, and their careers, they trace back to both of their origins at Florida State. They spent time, in Wilson's case, as a player for the great Leonard Hamilton. Gates, of course, coached there for so many years. We'll get into that story as this one unfolds. So here we go. VMI on this end of the floor. It's a three from straight on for A.J. Clark, and he banks it in.
The drive-through on Sunday afternoon is open.
It is.
Here in Como.
Hey, so here's the Missouri starting five. I mentioned they're down a couple of starters. Mitchell with that close range look. He is their top returning scorer from a year ago. Sean Phillips, the first-year Tiger, out today, late scratch due to an illness. And then Missouri plays a third straight game without their junior returning starter, Trent Pierce, who's missed the first three. Should be back mid to late November. After the miss, that one's knocked out of bounds. Ball back to the Tigers. So there's Pierce. You see him in the background. Phillips in the middle is the one clutching his collar. So Phillips dealing with an illness pre-tip. He has been ruled out, late scratch.
We're going to see a lot of this from VMI today. They usually do this after makes. They will go down the floor in a little 1-2-2, and then they get back into this hybrid matchup zone that is designed to make you shoot two-point shots. There's usually pressure on the ball, and they are willing to give up the free throw line area. So you'll see Mark Mitchell with the ball now. Back inside there, that's the weak spot.
And Sebastian Mack tries to exploit it.
One of the things that Andrew Wilson told us yesterday in his theory about this, they wanted to do something different. There's a good look at VMI's head man, Andrew Wilson, the FSU graduate. But he said this, he said, I know this, twos hurt you, but threes kill you.
Yep.
So that's one of the reasons why they've kind of wrapped their arms around a really different defense, because usually Kevin, against a 2-3, especially not to get in the weeds early, but when the ball gets to the free throw line, the zone shrinks. And yet VMI, when the ball gets to the free throw line, they stay extended. That's different.
I like getting into the weeds. Missouri better get into the weeds if they want to exploit this look. So Mack, one free throw at the line. By the way, two quick fouls on one of VMI's starters. It's their starting five-man, Caden Stuckey. So he has picked up two early fouls. So one noticeable absence from that VMI starting lineup, no Ricky Bradley Jr. for a third straight game, their top returning scorer and the preseason player of the year in the Southern Conference. He remains out day to day.
Javon Porter with a bad foul for Mizzou on the perimeter. Ricky Bradley Jr., the preseason player of the year in the SoCon. 37% from deep. Led the team a year ago. Here's the guy who had a monster game on Friday night. VMI is also coming off a win at Southern Indiana, a 4-point win on the road. And TJ Johnson had a monster 32-point, 14-rebound performance.
He galvanized VMI. A few hours from here, they were at Southern Indiana, as you mentioned. So that's a pair of double-doubles for TJ Johnson to start the season. He's going to try to cash in here on all three after he was fouled on that three-point attempt.
Now, this is a different start than how Missouri got off in their game on Friday night against Southeast Missouri, because the Tigers started 12-0.
Yeah, it's a 12-0 early lead for Mizzou in this building 2 days ago, and Mack, boy, saved that one before it fumbled out of bounds. So here's Mitchell at the free throw line. Mitchell with the left hand, missed it. Javon Porter.
And that'll be the challenge for VMI today. I think they will make Missouri shoot the shots they want. But with any zone, the question becomes, can you rebound out of it?
So the twos are better than threes, but you don't want to keep giving up a whole bunch of twos on second chance looks. It's off of Johnson's hands and out of bounds. So there's the 45-year-old from Chicago. Fourth season now as the head man. He's guided Missouri to a pair of NCAA tournaments, a pair of 20-win seasons, including last year. They had some big wins in this building a season ago. Here's Luke Northweather for three. Not that time. Linus Holmstrom on the run out.
Kevin, those are the kind of rebounds VMI is going to have to get today. Those that are batted around, they have to win all the 50-50 balls.
Tallest player on the floor for VMI, really at any point today, is going to be about 6'7", 6'8". That's it. This is Tan Ildizolu. That's their now 2-year starting point guard. And a new 20 after the Johnson rebound. Johnson wants three. No. Rebound down to Mitchell.
I wouldn't be surprised if VMI shoots 43s in this game.
They shot a whole bunch the other night against USI. Follow slam. It's Mitchell.
I think Mitchell's going to have to score today in a different way than what we're used to seeing him. I don't think he's going to get many face-up opportunities with the opportunity to beat people off the bounce.
Very versatile scorer and all-conference selection from a year ago. And he's definitely the headliner of all the returning starters for Missouri this season. Good ball movement. Holmstrom was open, and he knocks it down.
81% of his shots a year ago were from deep. He is an elite catch-and-shoot guy.
About 35% from beyond the arc last year. He was one of their more reliable outside shooters. That's a foul on VMI.
Why is it harder to rebound out of the zone? There's no block-out responsibilities. That leaves a free path for Mitchell. So if you start that way, it makes it easier to finish. And there's the quick release. I talk about great shooters answering the two cues with your shot. Is it quick and is it quiet? Holmstrom does both.
VMI with the early 9-5 lead.
And one of the things Missouri's, here's what I was talking about, the isolation with Mitchell in the middle.
Boy, that's a deep post catch. Close range, too much strength. He's going to the line for a pair.
It's an interesting cat and mouse game in terms of X's and O's because VMI wants the ball to go in there defensively and Missouri wants the ball to go in there offensively.
Right. They feel like if they space VMI out, they can beat them, particularly in those matchups that you're referencing in the paint.
Well, this is an area where Mitchell has struggled so far this season. Just 6 for 16 now on the young year. He was 67% a year ago.
Missouri as a team, they have strangely struggled at the free throw line their first couple of games. Anthony Robinson nearly took it away from the point guard who wants it. Stuckey across the floor, and Robinson ultimately has it. Stone, oh, a little reverse. It's Jaden Stone, the first-year Tiger, with the throwdown.
Ildizolu is going to learn if you're going to dribble, you better go somewhere.
Knocked away on a second straight possession.
To a three.
Leads to Johnson. High
Of
arcer.
course.
It's good.
Of course, the near turnover leads to the open three.
Again, the 32-point game for T.J. Johnson just 2 nights ago. Redshirt junior from Belton, Texas. Oh, Mitchell, a rim run. Missouri attacking the paint.
Yeah, but that happened after ball reversal. Any coach will tell you, you must get ball reversal to make the zone move.
Ildizolu for three. Mitchell, second rebound. Knocked out of his hands, and then last touch, that time by Mario Tatum. They always play a gauntlet. And so they're going to take on an Alabama team that just KO'd St. John's yesterday. There were a whole bunch of significant finals yesterday. We're going to update you on some of those scores later on. Opening week of college hoops. It is back. Things are starting to unfold. We begin to unpack the early goings of seasons for a lot of these teams. Mark Mitchell got shoved there. So that is the 5th team foul on VMI.
Here's how Missouri wants to attack. Look at Mitchell in that free throw line area. Now he wanders out. But again, once he does that, the ball in the perimeter, he kind of fumbles that pass, and that leads to the accidental foul. You're going to see 25 white close to that SEC logo all afternoon from Missouri.
That's how they can exploit what this VMI defense is going to throw at them.
Keep your eye on 25 white in the middle of the free throw line. Now the ball's got to go below the free throw. There it goes. Now you ought to be able to get it back to him.
Anthony Robinson, a little drive back out to Stone, who could be a prolific three-point shooter this year for Mizzou. VMI clears it, coming back the other way.
And to me, that's one of the question marks about this Mizzou team this year, because losing Grill, losing Bates, Grill especially a prolific three-point shooter. Do they have enough shooting?
They were one of the best three-point shooting teams a year ago. That time, Cal Liston could not secure it. Out of bounds, ball back to Mizzou. Tamar Bates, very experienced senior guard, gone. Caleb Grill, remember he was a sixth-year guy a year ago, gone. Tony Perkins, he exhausts eligibility. So a whole bunch of reliable older players have moved on. Of course, Dennis Gates and his staff feel like they have a good formula this year, bringing a whole bunch of impactful transfers. Mitchell score it and the foul. He's got a chance to put his team in front of the line coming up.
This is a signature Mark Mitchell move. Do you put a smaller guy on him like Clark this particular possession? He's just too powerful. Do you put a bigger guy on him? He's too quick. Watch the way he takes and absorbs the contact and still finishes for the and one opportunity.
You know, and he's always been a physical player. He looks lean and agile this year. So he's got 8 of Missouri's 13 points. They're versatile go-to scorer. Second year with the program.
Caught a friendly bounce on that free throw. You would never get that bounce at the carnival.
No. I still haven't been able to, that ring toss.
Yeah. Same thing.
These things just never land.
That's too easy.
Mitchell, with the left hand. That was his lead hand, and it fumbled it on the way up. So ball back to the Keydets. 6 minutes in. Missouri, VMI, first ever meeting between the two programs. The head coach is very close. It's Andrew Wilson on the VMI side, and then Gates. Going back to their Florida State days. That's how this matchup came to be. VMI won at Southern Indiana 2 nights ago. Made the drive over. After Clark's miss on the floor, several bodies. We got a tie-up. Looked like it was the freshman Nick Randall who just came in, who secured that one on the floor. So the possession arrow does favor Missouri.
If you want to get more minutes on a loose ball situation, be the first guy on the deck.
Yeah.
Because usually the first guy that gets on the floor and does the dirty work, he's rewarded. And that time Randall did just that.
So Randall and maybe his counterpart in this 2025 class, Aaron Rowe, they could get some extended, their first minutes, I should say, of the season, because Mizzou is down 3 players, 2 of those starters, so they only have 10 bodies today.
And here's a lineup change, really, for Missouri. Now, Mark Mitchell operates in a different area.
Jacob Cruz, an effective three-point shooter, offline on his first look.
VMI will not be afraid to run. Look at how wide they are on the floor, all 4 positions.
Johnson, turnaround. That was a difficult make.
Tough shot taker, tough shot maker.
He's got 8 of VMI's 14. Oh, Mitchell fouled at the rim. Missed the finger roll, got bailed out by the whistle. So he shoots 2.
We talked about TJ Johnson coming off that 32 and 14. The drive, the pivot, the fadeaway, the extension, perfect seam rotation on the basketball.
That was really pretty. In addition to Bradley, he was one of 2 returners that were double-figure scorers from a year ago. So he has been a reliable scorer for this team. And in the early goings of this season with Bradley out, they need more from him.
You're here in the early going. Mitchell now 3 of 4 at the free throw line. Kevin, you've heard me say this before. Free throw shooting is about 2 things and 2 things only. Repetition. Do you do the same thing every time? Is your elbow in? Do you have great follow through? Do you bounce the ball 4 times, 2 times? Do the same thing. And then the other one that's more difficult is confidence. And maybe we're seeing Mitchell's confidence at the free throw line grow right in front of us.
It's off to a fantastic start. And so, partner, You called it. You knew that Mitchell was going to get a whole bunch of opportunities, and he has converted most of those.
Yeah, this is our first look at the freshman Mario Tatum running the point for VMI. The coaching staff really high on him as a young guy. Andrew Wilson told me yesterday he's so mature for a guy his age.
Freshman from Edgewood, Maryland. That foul a moment ago was on T.O. Barrett. Johnson drive and kick. This is Tatum. The rookie picks up the dribble, throws it up, and scores it. Mario Tatum Jr. with his first basket.
High degree of difficulty.
Now it's Barrett. Little pivot foot, sent his man one way, back out to Mack. Mack driving baseline. Sebastian Mack trying to turn around. Johnson goes up strong. Porter down with the board. Mack has it. He can't finish. It's a second offensive board for Porter. We're going to have a tie-up. Ball back to VMI. They smothered Porter underneath.
Well, Sebastian Mack, I think, missed a couple of ones he normally wouldn't miss.
What does that mean? It's one of the 6 senior military colleges in the U.S. And so the lifestyle for these student athletes, it's challenging. It's rigorous, it's intense, strenuous, ROT style living, if you will, at Virginia Military Institute. And this basketball team performed well on the court a year ago. They're trying to take a step forward this season. Here's Liston, wants 3. Oh, cashes in. VMI has now hit 4 times from distance, 4 out of 9 from downtown.
Liston was just 6 for 29 from bonus land a year ago. See, I don't think you can do much off the bounce here. Too many
Backcourt
dribbles.
Violation.
Yeah, get one dribble into a gap and then move the ball. That's one of the beauties of VMI in this zone. They were 4th in the SoCon in steals per game. Here's another look at the flare screen by Liston. Had all kinds of room to get that off. But they were 4th best in steals per game playing a zone 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I also wanted to talk about Andrew Wilson as Johnson with another 3.
Northweather the board. Quick outlet pass to Robinson. This is Anthony Robinson. I think that one's going to be on the floor. You know, we've definitely expanded the and one possibility in the college game this year, but not quite that much. That was a couple of steps from Robinson, so that'll be on the floor. It will be a 1-and-1 though for Ant Robinson.
Andrew Wilson, to finish my thought of VMI, he said he's got a group, Kevin, that is tired of the VMI basketball narrative, and they want to do something different. They want to do something special, and he thinks he's got the group to do it.
It's powerful to hear that, but then you look at the construction of this roster. You have 12 total returners from a year ago.
Yeah.
4 of their 5 starters, most of their top returning scorers. So there is a collective belief that this group together, they could take a step forward. It would not be surprising if they finish top half of the Southern Conference, which does not happen historically often. There's Bradley. He's out for a 3rd straight game. The word is day to day.
Well, this is the danger of being the undersized team. You tend to foul more. Missouri already in the bonus with a lot of time to go in the first half.
Bounce pass to Mitchell. Mitchell, size advantage, got it to go. Mitchell into double figures. He has 11 for the senior from Kansas City.
Yeah, he puts you in a real bind when you talk about matchups. Who do you put on him?
Tatum, the freshman, offline. Missouri on the move. Robinson eyes up. VMI gets back in transition. Max open, wants the 3. No. T.O. Barrett, offensive board. Barrett, oh, he went on the other side of the hoop. Scores it. Missouri up by 1.
Acrobatic finish. These 3-point looks that Missouri is getting are pretty quality, high quality.
They're just not falling. 0 of 4 from distance. They're 41% from the field to start. They shot at a very high level in their first 2 wins against Southeast Missouri State and Howard. Mitchell blocks it, secures it, and now the run out. Sebastian Mack gathers. Mack, another.
Just kind of creates his own space. Mack is fearless at driving the ball.
Oh, Missouri's defense in the Dennis Gates era, very aggressive, attacking style, turn your team over sort of a D. They were one of the better steals teams of the nation a year ago. And right now, a bit of a sequence that has featured a whole lot of havoc on this end. Andrews offline on the 3.
That's VMI's 16th shot, 12 from deep.
Mark Mizzou on a 7-0 burst.
Here's Mitchell right in the middle of that zone. See if they can get him the ball.
He's got it from 15. No.
Now that's a win for VMI's defense. That's exactly what they want.
It's a mid-range J. Not a high percentage 3, let's say. Mitchell does lead the way with 12. 4 of 8 shooting. Most of that work also at the line. There's the rookie. Oh, yeah, another for Mario Tatum Jr.
Yeah, back-to-back threes. He had 23 in their opener. Not afraid to be a scorer.
Mack turns down the 3, goes up strong and fouled. So Sebastian Mack will be back at the free throw line, even at 22. Mizzou has that size and length advantage, particularly tonight.
At almost every position.
Yeah. See the average height on the left side of that column.
But what is the genesis of all great upsets? It's the three-point line. And already VMI has knocked down 5. So they're plus 15 in three-point differential.
So Stuckey back on the floor. So is Johnson, 2 of their starters.
And one of the things that I think is difficult in playing this zone that Missouri is going to go through, I think you've got to be able to grind out possessions. I just don't think you're going to, they're really good in transition defense. I don't know that you're going to get many runouts after misses. You kind of have to stay focused on where you need to attack.
Stuckey barging into Northweather. Has to kick it out with 4 to shoot. Walker Andrews nearly lost the handle. Look at Northweather. He's way out there. That's a heave. Shot clock violation. So that's a good defensive possession for Missouri.
We talked so many times about offensive patience. I think today, if you're going to guard, if you're Dennis Gates and you're going to guard VMI, you better have some defensive patience also. Late in shot clocks.
Yep.
VMI only their 4th turnover.
This has been a solid first half for a mid-major team without the conference's preseason player of the year. And that's Ricky Bradley Jr. It's a 1-point game, 8 minutes to go in the first.
Yeah, this zone's going to match up if nobody gets in that free throw line area.
Holmstrom trying to keep Anthony Robinson in front of him. He does, but Robinson buries the step-back 3.
That shot better go in because Mizzou had nothing going offensively.
The junior from Tallahassee is now a 2-year starter. Blossomed last year to sophomore season, mainly because of that. His defensive instincts fuels the run out. Timeout, Keydets. It's an Anthony Robinson run to put his team back in front by 6.
Their team captain.
No surprise. He's worn that jersey with a whole lot of pride. Now in year 3 with the Tigers. Last year guided them to an NCAA tournament. So it's a 13-3 Missouri run. Pushing deeper in this first half. Ildizolu picks up the dribble a mile away from the basket. 5 to shoot. Johnson heaves it. TJ Johnson, a bucket getter.
That was
in the double figures.
That was from Jefferson City.
It's a scenic, let me tell you though, it's a scenic route. Johnson with 11. After a 32-point performance the other night, he was trying to go back-to-back. I mean, why not?
Yes.
5-point game, 6:45 to go in this first. Jacob Cruz, good ball fake, gets his man to the air and buries it.
Seems like such a simple thing, but just the ball fake to get the defender to bite, leave the floor, creates an open look.
He's a really reliable reserve a season ago. Now the 60-year senior from Hilliard, Florida. He'll take on an expanded role in his second year with the program. Holmstrom misfires, and then a loose ball foul on Missouri. So that'll stay here. That's just the third team foul on Mizzou.
Kevin, check out how far away from the arc Johnson is on that shot. What is that, 5, 6 feet behind the line?
I was thinking 5 feet, 5+. Well, he's got a versatile offensive game.
Already with 11.
Now, he averaged 12 a game last year, but as a junior, he's going to be much more relied upon. Holmstrom off the window, bounces out. He does draw the foul. Linus Holmstrom moving without the ball and cutting on the baseline. Earns himself a trip to the free throw line.
Second chance opportunity for VMI. It's one of the areas that Missouri really struggled in last year in terms of getting on the glass defensively. They only had averaged 2.5 blocks a game. That's 15th in the SEC. Now, by bringing in somebody like Sean Phillips, they hope that that kind of corrects some of that, along with other guys. They've got more length. They ought to be able to play above the rim a little bit more on both ends of the floor, and of course, that would please Dennis Gates.
Unfortunately today, Phillips was a late scratch, out with the illness. But the 7-footer from Dayton, Ohio, does seem like he will be a very athletic threat underneath the basket on both ends of the floor.
Now here's the 3-quarter press. Back to the zone. And those are the kind of fouls you can't commit once the other team's in the bonus. Ildizolu was just a little too aggressive there.
So that sends Anthony Robinson to the line. And yes, Missouri in the double bonus.
Robinson 77% on the free ones a year ago.
So Missouri in the double bonus for the next 6 minutes in this first half. Northweather secures the offensive board. Second chance for Missouri, and there is Mack. Now, a lot of his shot attempts are around the rim.
Yeah.
There's another.
Not really known as a great shooter, but is a great scorer of the ball.
Had 11 in the win against SEMO on Friday. Missouri scored 89 in the victory, but it was a very tight game until the final moments of the second. Ildizolu picks up the dribble, dangerous pass. He does find Holmstrom, leave it for Stuckey, lost it.
Stuckey's got to have his hands out as a big, be ready to be a receiver. That's a good extra pass.
Cruz is open. He's fouled on the 3. More free throws for Mizzou.
Nice little touch pass by Northweather there. I did think Mizzou had too many guys on the same side of the floor, so their spacing wasn't great, but their ball movement was. Let the ball have energy on offense.
So that's the 3rd foul on Stuckey. So foul trouble beginning to be a problem here with 5:25 to go for VMI in this first half.
Mizzou had all kinds of issues at the free throw line early in their game against SEMO on Friday night. They got out to such a horrific start. At one point in time, they were 3 of 12.
Wow.
But in a close win, Dennis Gates' team made the free throws when they needed them. 16 of 19 from there on.
The free throw struggles was one thing. They turned the ball over too many times on Friday. Gates, though, he was proud of the poise and the composure down. They were down 1 with 5 minutes to play. And shortly after that, they went on a 10-2 run, seized control, and never relinquished the lead from that point on.
I think he talked to us about, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, but I don't think they played great, but they figured out a way to win.
Right.
And that part he really was impressed with.
Yep. Missouri's first double-digit lead. Hammer pass to the far corner, and another from distance.
Feeling
Mario Tatum Jr.
He's feeling it. That's his third one.
Great upside for this freshman from Maryland. After the giveaway, here come the Keydets on the move. Holmstrom trying to shake Northweather. Holmstrom into the paint. Back out to Ildizolu. The rookie cut. They could not get it to Tatum. Robinson, transition three. Drills it.
I'll tell you why I'm okay with that. He slowed himself down. He didn't shoot that ball really in transition. He kind of walked into it. Now he's made a couple.
He has 10. So he and Mitchell are the two Missouri players with 10 or more in this first half. Johnson, high off the glass. Rebound down to Mitchell. Missouri by 11. Pushing in transition. Robinson leaves it for Mitchell. Got blocked. Traveling violation. So they say that he picked up his dribble and then just came down with it.
Yeah,
it was not deflected by a VMI player.
It was close. He's arguing that he was able to put it on the deck. Take another look. Did he dribble this before landing with his feet? He's in the air, so he's got to get rid of. Yeah, that's a trap. That's a trap.
For sure. Left foot came down.
Good call. It must be early in the season because I'm agreeing with the officials.
There's Tatum again on the drive. That's another foul on Anthony Robinson with 3:42 to go in the first. So VMI will have it when we come back. Mizzou's up by 11 in Columbia. You know, I'm playing along
I'm
here.
trying to use my math degree.
Mizzou +5 at the free throw line. So, of course, these things are all starting to factor together. I don't think we can't use that. We're going to use the Pythagorean theorem.
We could.
At some point as well.
We could.
That's right, yep. So a fun Sunday afternoon.
I would get into the isosceles triangle part of the VMI defense if I wanted to just really go deep in my geometry.
You know, I always like the obtuse triangle.
There you go. There you go.
Maybe I've just been called obtuse over the years. Here's Johnson again. Oh, that is a high arcer right in front of the Mizzou bench, letting them know. So without Ricky Bradley Jr., TJ Johnson has buried 3 triples. That's a foul on Mitchell. We're going back the other way.
Yeah, these are the simple miscommunications that should not happen between two guys that are returning players.
Just the 6th team foul on Mitchell.
I want to say this. I think TJ Johnson, I think he could play at a lot of places.
Yeah. He seems fearless today.
Here we go again.
I mean, he's got some space here.
That one's
offline there. A ball fake would have helped him. We got a couple of players go down. So Porter and Liston.
I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be
some
reviewed.
contact, between the two. Mark, I initially missed it. I really just noticed both of them falling to the floor.
Yeah,
and then you had some screams from the crowd. You had a couple of players got up very quickly.
I think this is a takedown by Liston.
Oh.
I think this will be a flagrant one.
He's grabbing a whole lot of the jersey.
At the least, this is a flagrant one. It's certainly excessive.
Well, that is grappling all right. So all 3 of our officials, they're going to go to the monitor, sort out the whole situation.
After review,
Here's Courtney.
We have a flagrant 1 foul on 0 red. Missouri will shoot 2 shots and get the ball on the baseline with a 30-second shot clock.
I think everything there was justified. Makes sense.
Yes. I would hate to see that be upgraded to a flagrant 2. I didn't think it rose to the level of brutal or harsh.
I agree with you, yeah.
But it certainly was a textbook flagrant 1. So Porter will go to the free throw line. 3 of 4 on the free ones for the year. Now here's a guy that through his career at Loyola Marymount and Pepperdine has scored over 1,100 points.
I think that scoring gene, it's in his DNA, is it not? If the last name sounds familiar, it should. Big brother Michael Porter Jr. spent the one season here 8 years ago. Big bro is balling in Brooklyn these days. Won a title with Denver a couple of years ago. And so, as you mentioned, after a few years at Pepperdine and LMU previously, comes back home.
You notice in neither of those pictures were those guys looking to pass.
You're saying they were looking for their shot. Porter could squirt. He's
there
one
he
of
is.
Several impactful transfers that Gates and the staff brought in. There is an easy throwdown for Mark Mitchell. He's got 14. So he's right at his average from a year ago.
I think that was Mizzou's best attack on the half court against the zone.
Just good execution that time. That's a foul on the floor. And that'll go against Porter, and that will now send VMI to the line for a 1-and-1.
Ball reversal, ball fake. The flash in the middle by Mitchell, the easy deuce on the baby flush. That's how they drew it up in shoot-around today.
That's good execution. That was an area of the floor that Missouri knew it had to attack and exploit. TJ Johnson, meanwhile, is matching Mitchell stride for stride. He has 15 now, so he's hit 3 triples. He's now 5 of 5 at the line, so Johnson can fill it up after his 32-point outburst on Friday. It's a 9-point game. Missouri in front for much of it. Robinson defended by Holmstrom. Had it deflected. Johnson has it. It's a good sleight of hand from the Swede. Bounce pass. Holmstrom can't finish. That's when you have to against a team like Missouri. And then a foul to compound the error.
Well, you never want to let one mistake lead to another. Holmstrom would like to have that one back. It's a great feed by Johnson. And then fouls 94 feet from the basket.
I mean, this could be the 4-point swing in the wrong direction if you're VMI. There's Andrew Wilson in the background. Holmstrom is someone who was very much relied upon a year ago as a freshman. He's going to take a step forward this year into the starting lineup again. Just an unfortunate break at the rim. Meanwhile, Missouri, they've made 12 free throws in this first half. They're back up by double digits.
Well, them getting to the free throw line is nothing new. Last year, the Tigers averaged, even with Grill as a 3-point shooter who didn't get to the line very much, they averaged 27 free throw attempts per game.
Second in the nation in free throw rate, attempts, makes. So I don't think they're going to stray too far from that. That is one of the offensive identities, philosophies for the team. Attack the rim. That's a dangerous pass into a whole lot of traffic. Somehow, it's going to stay with VMI. Knocked out of bounds by Mizzou.
Jaden Stone was in the right place defensively. Gap help almost came up with the steal.
Stone has looked good first 2 games in a Missouri uniform. Remember, he missed all of last year with the injury. Back for one last season. His first year in Columbia. 2 minutes to play. Late shot clock for VMI. Underneath, Ildizolu. They fumble it around. It's Johnson fouled.
Again, the lack of defensive patience rears its ugly head. They had Johnson trapped in the corner, and I actually thought he was trying to throw it off Mitchell's leg and missed his leg, so that led to that whole sequence.
TJ Johnson filling it up again for VMI. So he leads all scorers this afternoon, now with 17. He's perfect at the line. It's been a good weekend out in the Midwest here for TJ Johnson.
He'll want to stay on the road more often.
Yeah. He's from Belton, Texas. You know, he started his career in Lipscomb, barely played, hits the portal. Barely anybody has given him any looks. There's Johnson underneath. And Andrew Johnson said he is someone who had so much potential. Somebody had to give him a chance. We gave him that. He put in all the time and the effort last year to turn himself into a double-figure scorer. And now this year, looks like he's capable of a lot more. Step back 3. Got another. TJ Johnson with the fist pump. And after that 3, it's back to an 8-point game. He has 21 in the first half.
right now, TJ Johnson is a one-man offensive clinic. Efficient score, 5 of 10, 4 of 8 from deep. The ball fake, Mitchell with the flyby, the sidestep. Look at the rotation with the ball, though. It's absolutely perfect. And now the Keydets have made 9 3-balls in the first half. How many did I say they were going to shoot for the game? 40. Where are they right now? 20.
What a first half for this kid. So 21 of his team's 40 points. He likes that left wing, doesn't he? He's hit a couple from that side of the floor. VMI, 45% from distance. Missouri has only taken 7 from beyond the arc to 3 out of 7. So what happens in the final 90 seconds here? Which way is this one going to swing before the break? Missouri offensively operating at a high level like it has done its first 2 games. They're 8 for their last 8 on this end. Bounce pass to Mitchell. Mitchell lost the handle, got it back, spins, goes up strong, fouled. Mark Mitchell back at the line.
Yeah, I thought Mitchell only got fouled about 5 different times once the ball went into him in the painted area. Spinning, utilizing his strength, getting back to the free throw line.
He's 4 out of 5 at the stripe today. They like having him here back in his home state. 2 productive years at Duke. Deep tournament runs in his first 2 seasons of college ball. Came back home ahead of last season. Lands on the All-SEC team, and this year you would expect him to play at that high of a level once again. The senior from Kansas City. He's got his team back in front by 10. Yeah, productive first halves for Mitchell and Johnson.
Now, if you're guarding Johnson, you cannot be a help defender, no matter what happens.
They're looking for 44 off the screen. Johnson gets it right back to Tatum. 4 seconds to shoot. Mario Tatum, that one, boy, scraped the rafters. Still free. New 20 for VMI with 38 seconds to go in the half. Ildizolu flicks it back out. This is Cal Liston. VMI scrambling. 5 to shoot. Johnson hoists it, down and out. And it's another possession for the Keydets.
Shot clock off.
So can they get it back to single digits before halftime? 10 seconds. You got Johnson at the free throw line. Liston coming up to set the screen. Deflected with 3 seconds. Taken by Mitchell. Up ahead to Stone. You got to let it go. This one counts. Offline. And Missouri does take a 10-point lead into the break. It's 50-40 after the Tigers shoot as a team 59% from the floor. Points, these VMI Keydets, Virginia Military Institute from Lexington, Virginia. So it's a little Midwest 2-game swing for VMI. They beat Southern Indiana 2 nights ago. They drive through St. Louis over to Columbia. It's a 10-point game this Sunday afternoon in Como. Glad you're with us. I said doubleheader. So you're getting a little less back on the dollar here if you're coming for hoops. You got at least a half, and then we'll get you to South Carolina Southern Miss after this one. So Missouri, meanwhile, their 2 wins at Howard, and on Friday in a high-scoring affair against Southeast Missouri State. They won 89-84. And so Mizzou has been able to score the ball in the early goings of this season.
But Kevin, look who's gotten the TJ Johnson assignment. Mizzou's best defender, Anthony Robinson, and he cannot switch off. That's a problem.
Drive and kick. Here's the sophomore, Linus Holmstrom. Left the 3 short, got his own miss, goes up, missed it. Northweather vertical, and he starts the break. Oh, Mitchell on the run. Oh, throw down. It's a monster jam for Mark Mitchell. Look out.
Do you have the courage to slide over and take the charge on Mitchell? Because he got downhill in a hurry.
That's our first true highlight throwdown of the afternoon. There's a foul a mile from the basket. Biggest lead of the afternoon for Mizzou now.
Take another look. Coming down the floor right at you. Open pass. Very little resistance. And what resistance there was way late.
Well, you could see that one developing. There's a steal, a run out. Sebastian Mack extends this advantage to 14 now for the Tigers. Of course, the heavy favorites in their third non-conference game of the season. And so they are beginning to stretch this lead. A.J. Clark trying to go toe-to-toe that time with Mitchell. Decides to throw it back out. Wise choice. Mack knocks it away. Robinson comes up with a loose basketball. And then there's a foul on Robinson. Offensive foul.
This is, I think he got a little frustrated. Go back to the defensive positioning of Robinson again. Keep your eye on Zero White. He's going to deflect that pass, which leads to the run out. So he doesn't get the steal. He doesn't get the assist. He doesn't get the score, but it was his play that disrupted the VMI offense.
A couple of times he's done that today. Not just getting his hand in the passing lane, but deflecting the pass from the man he covers. One of the better defenders in the league a year ago. And he will remain, you would think, in his junior season. Clark, that is a difficult step back. Give him all three.
Didn't he bank one in the first half as well? Isn't
that
the
was
way
the
we
first
started?
Basket. You're right. That's how this one started. Mitchell just towering over Clark. And then we got a push. It's a foul on VMI. That's on Ildizolu.
A.J. Clark, 5 for 19 a year ago, but he's banked in not one, but two. Do you know what a tough bank that is? You could shoot 40 balls and not make that shot.
You know, we were talking about triangle. That's the obtuse angle, right? Right? Isn't it? Said you were the math whiz. There's not much of an angle to bank that one.
See if Mitchell goes back to that logo area.
Mitchell going up strong, front rims it. There's Clark with the board. So it's an 11-point game in Columbia this afternoon. Third game of the year for both of these teams. Opening week of the college basketball season.
Just close enough to keep it uncomfortable for the home team.
Offline, Mitchell starting the break. Very versatile five-man. Gives it to Mack. Little Euro step. Count it. Sebastian Mack is the ex-UCLA Bruin. He's having a good day now in the second half. He's got 10.
Fearless with his ability to get to the rim.
That's a foul on Porter, his third.
In transition, the smart pass, the simple pass by Mitchell. The Euro hop that time by Mack.
Mack, one of the 7 newcomers. That includes 5 transfers. He was an effective scorer at UCLA a year ago. You've seen another one on the court right here in Javon Porter, who was just whistled for that foul. Plus Luke Northweather is on the floor with Sean Phillips Jr. out today. Late scratch due to an illness. Phillips looks like he would be the starting 5-man for Mizzou this year. Tie up, Northweather ties up Clark. Possession arrow favors the Keydets. It will stay here.
Barrett had that ball on the out under as you take a look at Sean Phillips Jr. But Barrett got too anxious to go down the floor. Gather first.
Barrett, number 5 in the white. He's the sophomore. He'll be Anthony Robinson's backup. Holmstrom inside. This is Clark. Porter descends on him. Clark keeps the pivot. That was just a difficult ask. Try to get that one up over Porter with success. Now it's Mack. A little crossover. Mack in attack mode. No. Rebound down to Johnson.
And that's the right phrase with Sebastian Mack. Attack mode.
Loves to drive. Always a threat to get to the free throw line. Ildizolu, where is he going? Out to Clark. Well, that's the easiest look for Clark today. Hit a couple of those step-back bankers. And that time, the open one, he can't cash in. It's a foul on Clark. He yanks Porter that time. Second foul on Clark.
seems like the start of the second half's got a rugged flow to it right now.
A little uneven, a little disorganized back and forth. Remember, Missouri projected as a top half of the SEC team once again this year. That's on the heels of their 20-win season last year. Dennis Gates guided them back to the NCAA tournament. VMI, meanwhile, there isn't really a long lineage of basketball success for the senior military college. And yet they're coming off a 15-win season, which is historically been very hard to do for the program. Andrew Wilson probably has his best team, and they look like they are on the verge of being a top half of the Southern Conference team this year.
Nice job by Northweather to step out, not allow Johnson to get that three-point look.
That's Barrett, whistled for another foul. He bumps Ildizolu, so that'll take us to
Dennis Gates tell us about his transfer portal ideas that he wants to get guys with multiple years of eligibility.
Yep. There's a deflection. Mack comes away with it. Sebastian Mack lays it up and in. So T.O. Barrett got his hands on that inbound pass, and all of a sudden Missouri has stretched the lead to 15. Largest of the afternoon.
You wonder if the length of Mizzou is starting to wear down VMI. I know this. Mizzou knows where 44 in red is all the time.
I don't think he's gotten a shot off, right, in the second half. There's Holmstrom, another capable outside shooter, rips the cord. So number 44 in the red. Yeah, Johnson hasn't taken a shot yet in the second half. Punches that one out of bounds.
So you got to work harder to make the right pass. Barrett just kind of caught that and threw it without seeing or feeling where the defense is.
What is it sometimes? The fake the pass.
Fake a pass
make the pass.
to make a pass.
Yep.
Very good. You're paying attention. I'm way impressed.
I was listening at shoot around, wasn't I? It's on the floor. And VMI flings it into the front court. Yeah, he may take this. Johnson cashes in.
Yes, sir.
Oh, he's going to let it fly, folks, in a game where they need everything he can give him. He's got 24 of his team's 49. Great ball movement and moving without the ball. Jacob Cruz lays that one in. First ever meeting between these two programs. Johnson leaves that three way short. Mack, little saucy crossover, draws the foul.
Back-to-back great plays a few possessions ago. Let's start with the Johnson three. You could see this coming. He had numbers. Forget that 2-on-1 stuff, man. Just let it fly. Oh my goodness, is that good. Then when Missouri gets the ball inside, we talked about the free throw line area. That's good movement by 35. White Cruz down on the baseline. Mitchell with the find and Cruz with the finish. That's a good, simple attack of the hybrid zone.
Seems as though Mitchell, who he's maybe the most important player for Missouri this season, but particularly today, he has handled the additional workload operating from the free throw line well.
Well, he's had to, what I like about that, and I think you're saying the same thing, he's had to figure out a different way to get it done.
Cruz into the front court after the miss. Mack makes that sideline catch over to Mitchell, throws it up, and he draws the foul. So our Mark Mitchell is going to make another trip to the free throw line where he is 6 out of 7 from the stripe today. So that foul is on Liston. Mark Mitchell with 18. The senior from Kansas City. 2 productive years at Duke. They made deep tournament runs his first 2 years of college ball. Then he decides to transfer, comes back home. All-conference season a year ago. So how does he raise the bar this year? By the way, while we have a moment, these are our next featured women's basketball matchups coming up on the SEC Network. And so it is headlined by Star Power. You got Reagan Beers, the All-American in Oklahoma, taking on Kansas City on Wednesday. And then Talasia Cooper and the 8th-ranked Lady Vols. They host Belmont, the following day, Thursday. You can catch it all right here on the SEC Network. 63-49 the lead.
Notice all 5 players for VMI on the perimeter. Makes it really difficult to close out and have proper rotation.
They're going to get Mack here for the reach-in, so that's his second foul. And Missouri athletically beginning to wear VMI down. 6.5 minutes gone in this second.
Missouri, though, has already committed 5 fouls.
Mack keeping Tatum in front of him. Tatum draws the foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
So, Kevin, I have a theory about early fouls early in the season. I think every coach wants to practice with physicality. But when you switch over and you have 3 officials working your game, those things that you got away with in practice are now fouls in the game. I call them practice fouls. And with the new emphasis for officials, and they're being sincere about it, or at least I think they are so far this year, they want to clean up our game. They want it to be less physical. You cannot make it less physical unless you call more fouls.
Right. You know, Missouri played an exhibition game here a couple of weeks ago where every player had 6 personal fouls that game, so it's a much different ball game today. Player down on the floor, and that is A.J. Clark.
I think this happened on the high bouncing rebound here.
Watch number 5. Oh. Looked
Previous
like
play is
maybe
under
an
review.
inadvertent elbow. That was Jacob Cruz, just came straight down and clocked Clark in the face as he was going for the rebound.
Yeah, these are the tough ones. Intent has nothing to do with this. Is this excessive? I'm like you. It's almost like Clark just happened to get in the way of Cruz as he was coming down. But anything above the shoulders.
Yeah, the officials just went to the monitor, and they've deemed that everything was incidental there. Nothing that would warrant upgrading that to a flagrant 1.
I love that call. Again, he just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Mizzou continues to dominate in the paint. They are plus 34 in that differential.
My goodness. Most of their points have come in the paint their first 2.5 games of the year. So Clark sits down a little dazed.
Kevin, let me ask you this. Do you have a better sense of why VMI makes people very uncomfortable in terms of the way you have to attack them, the way you have to guard them? I mean, they're a difficult scout.
Sure. They present some unique challenges relative to the average opponent you may face this time of year. Cruz drains it. So that's his second 3-pointer. Very capable outside shooter.
Very good catch and shoot guy.
T.O. Barrett ripped it away from Payson. Lead feed to Stone. Reverse. Score it. Missouri by 18. And all of a sudden, its lead is swelled to 18.
But the difference in this half, in my opinion, is that Mizzou has a much better sense of where Johnson is at all times.
It's becoming very difficult for the Keydets on this side of the floor. Defensive intensity is picked up. Ildizolu goes behind the back. Over to Payson with 2 to shoot. That's a really difficult off-balance 3. So VMI 3 of 11 from the floor in this second half. After the turnover, Payson. Payson up with the left, missed it. Up and down the floor they go. Mitchell fouled. And Mark Mitchell shoots 2. when we return.
Drew Wilson on your left was a player. Dennis Gates was on his staff. But they talk glowingly about the guy everybody refers to as Coach Ham.
Coach Ham, one of the best to do it. Now, Dennis Gates was an assistant from 2011 to 2019 in Florida State. That was leading up to his first head coaching job at Cleveland State. Now, that 8-year run, that was one of the better runs in Florida State basketball history, hands down. They made some deep tournament runs, won the ACC a couple of times.
And Kevin, I think this is the first time that Johnson's been off the floor in this game. So a lineup for VMI. But again, I talked about the fouls. How can VMI score and kind of be the hang-around team? Get to the free throw line. And when you make all those practice fouls, as I call them, early in the half, your opponent slips into the bonus much sooner.
And look how early that VMI did get into the bonus. 8.5 minutes into this second half. Now the problem is you got to make them.
Right.
And so that time, Keydets missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Mitchell has lived at the stripe, and Mark Mitchell is going back there. He's 9 of 11 at the free throw line. He has been assertive. He has been aggressive. He's hunted his shot. He has played through contact all afternoon.
But I also think he's played simply. I mean, this is what VMI is giving you. Take what the defense gives you.
Yep.
He doesn't force the issue. Very rarely has turnovers. And I think we're seeing a more confident free throw shooter. He was just 6 for 15 through the first 2 games at the charity stripe.
Yeah, really baffling struggle for he and his team in those 2 wins against Howard and Southeast Missouri State. So that one's going to go to VMI. So he gets 1 out of 2 at the line. But to your point, he's at 1 rebound away from a double-double. He's got a couple of assists. He's had a couple of nice passes to cutters along the baseline.
Yep.
Plus a block and a steal. Mark Mitchell is going to be the engine this year for Missouri, second year with the program.
I think we know Robinson's going to be at the point. We know Mitchell's going to be whatever position you want to give him.
Well, speaking of Robinson, took that one away from VMI. Mitchell lays it in.
But I think during the November part of the schedule for Mizzou, I think Dennis Gates, you're going to see him rotate guys, different rotations. Who can play their best with those 2?
Yep.
And I think we're going to see him. We did not see and will not see Sean Phillips Jr. today, but he gives them a wide body block-to-block presence they really haven't had in the last couple of years. So I think when you talk about minutes played, I think Robinson and Mitchell are going to be your 33, 34 plus guys.
Right.
And then it's going to be, okay, who can make their mark, who can earn their way into a 20-minute role.
Who's going to earn the trust of this staff among those first-year players? By the way, that last foul was on Northweather. That's his 3rd. That was the foundation, Mark. It was the aforementioned tandem of Robinson and Mitchell, and then among the many injured Tigers that are in their sweats, there's too many players that are out today. There's Cruz underneath, nice look from Stone. Is Trent Pierce, who was he was the 3rd returning starter from last year's 22-win team. Now he has missed a 3rd straight game today, dealing with a little bit of a hip issue. Probably mid to late November he'll be ready.
Right.
But that trio was the foundation returning. Then a guy like Jaden Stone, who just found Cruz again. Football pass going down the field.
And we haven't talked about Boateng.
Yep.
You got to see him in the exhibition game, played well.
He did.
He's been out. He figures to get minutes.
Johnson a long 2. Cashes in once again. He's got 26. So he and Mark Mitchell are the 20-point scorers today. Northweather for 3. Misfires. Jaden Stone goes up strong and it rolls out. So Stone's at the line for a pair coming up. Yeah, for Missouri today, with that late Phillips scratch, they're down 4 players due to injury. Phillips, Pierce, Boateng, and then Trent Burns seems like the wild card. He could take him the longest of that quartet to be ready to go. So today, only 10 available players for Missouri. Well, this is that foundation we were talking about. They returned the most point production from a year ago of all SEC teams.
And I've seen and had Arkansas. Their returning production is pretty good, but the two freshmen, Acuff and Thomas, are sensational in a year where we have a plethora of great freshmen.
Well, and they have been on display, and they have played very well in this opening week of the college hoop season. Northweather collects the miss. Mizzou's lead is ballooned to 23. Jaden Stone, he's one of those first-year Tigers. That's an errant pass. Taken away by Walker Andrews.
It's just a loose possession, which leads to that.
Oh, my goodness. What an afternoon for TJ Johnson. He's got 29. Look, his team is down 20. But he is shooting at a very high rate. Stone can't answer. Northweather gets his team a new 20. Oh, this is
one you got to make.
Easy one for Robinson. Cash money. Missouri with another 80-point performance. So they have hit the 80 mark in all 3 of their games to start this season.
I love the offensive rebound kick out for the 3. The reason why it's so successful, the defense is scattered.
It's only the 5th made 3 for Missouri today, as you pointed out a number of times. They have attacked inside.
Everybody's doing step-back threes.
Yeah, the team that's knocking them down from distance, it's the Keydets. They have hit 14 threes. Robinson a bit strong on the answer. So Andrews has numbers. Andrews just let it fly. Why not? At this point, I think that was off of Johnson's noggin. So ball back to Mizzou. They're letting them fly right now.
Back-to-back 3 balls. First, the Northweather offensive rebound kick out. I love that. All kinds of time for Robinson to feel the seams. And then this little side step, back step by Andrews. Shot with confidence. Now, he is a guy that you should know in the scouting report is a catch-and-shoot guy. 2/3 of his shots a year ago were from deep.
VMI has taken 47 shots today. All right, work with me here.
Yeah.
Follow along. Here it is. 34 of those 48, pardon me, from distance.
Yeah, I'm wondering why they've taken 14 twos.
They're shooting way worse inside the 3-point arc. Stone wide open. Cruz got his fingertips on it. Cruz scoring. Jacob Cruz, he's into double figures, now has 14.
Mizzou's ability to win in the paint has offset VMI's ability to win at the arc.
Yep. When you hit 14 threes, you would be in trouble. Not today.
The versatility of Mark Mitchell allows Dennis Gates to play in a lot of different ways. Now remember, last year they didn't have a lot of length or size, so they couldn't play a lot of different ways. But because you add a Sean Phillips, because you add a Javon Porter at 6'11", I think Missouri and Dennis Gates will be able to play big. They'll be able to play small. And when you can play in different ways, I think that makes you a tougher out.
They were projected to be a top half of the league team this year after finishing 7th a year ago and reaching the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, we briefly mentioned that Alabama win yesterday. LeBaron Philon had 25, and he was efficient. Good to see that Latrell Reitzel was back on the floor.
That's right.
For Alabama.
Knocking down shots
There were
again.
a lot of questions about the front court of Alabama, but Taylor Bowen, who transferred from FSU, had 17 and 9. Last year at FSU, he only averaged 8 and 5, so that's good to see. I like the fact that Alabama and Nate Oates, challenged his team with an early road game. Here's one thing. We were talking with Dennis Gates at shoot-around today. I love the fact that they opened the season on the road at Howard. And he's talking about that because he's lived the mid-major life.
Right.
Being a head coach at Cleveland State, he knows how hard it is to get major conference teams to come and play at your place.
That's right. Open up the season on Monday at Howard. So Dennis Gates, he you brought it up, he rolled his eyes. He knew that life at Cleveland State. So Porter got fouled. He's at the free throw line. I think he would like to perhaps return the favor and go play at VMI.
Yeah,
play
he talked about it,
his
mentioned
lifelong
it.
coaching friend Andrew Wilson at some point in the future. So while we got a moment here, Thursday night, SEC Insight grants you the all-access pass to the SEC Women's Soccer Tournament semis and championship game. You're going to get the never-before-seen footage, sound from players and coaches. It's a great behind-the-scenes look. Catch that Thursday, November 13th at 9 Eastern.
We've spent a lot of time talking about November and December, but I want to draw your attention to the way Mizzou opens SEC play this year. Come
Is it a
January.
gauntlet? Sounds like it might be a gauntlet.
The defending national champions here, then at Kentucky, at Ole Miss, and Auburn at home.
That's quite a stretch.
Oh,
Yeah, good
my
luck.
Goodness.
What's life in the SEC these days? 14 teams in the tournament a year ago. It was unequivocally the best single season for one conference. Look, go back as far as you want.
Yeah.
It's one of the best ever.
I agree. And it's,
Holmstrom fouled out as you saw him, so Stone just took it away from Andrews, cleared for takeoff. Jaded Stone wreaking havoc in the second half. He has 10. One of several Tigers, I'm sorry, Mark, in double figures.
I like his athleticism, his length on the perimeter at 6'4".
Experienced player, 6th-year college ball. Plays with an edge, plays with confidence. And he is definitely, of all those transfers, he's gotten the most minutes here. First 3 games of the season. There was a tie-up. Position arrow favors the Tigers. There's Stone. 2 years ago, he scored 20 a game at Detroit Mercy. Now, it was a bad Detroit team. Nevertheless, it's hard to score 20 anywhere. And he does look like he has assimilated into this rotation nicely a few games in.
Played for Mike Davis at Mercy.
Yeah, great coach.
Mike Davis is now an assistant at Memphis.
Yep. There's Mack underneath. Missed it. And VMI, Johnson rip it away. That's something that Gates pays a whole lot of attention to. That 3 is down for Tatum.
Well, that's one way to get a paint touch and a three-point shot. Throw it 60 feet to establish the paint touch.
Missouri led by 10 at the break, and it very quickly stretched its lead to 15, 20, 20 plus very early on in the second half, and it has maintained this 20 plus margin now for the bulk of this second half. They're 5 minutes away from a 3-0 start. And for Mizzou, remember, coming up, it will play Minnesota in 3 days, so that'll be its first game against another power conference opponent, if we want to look at it that way. Andrews rises and buries it. Look, VMI has got some players that can knock down shots. So the expectations were about as high as they really ever are for this program coming into this season.
That's one you got to make.
Okay, Robinson has done that twice. He has listened to you twice. And a couple of those wide open threes. And Anthony Robinson with 18 on 4 of 5 shooting. 2 of those were wide open, but still 4 of 5 from distance.
But I think that zone's a little tired.
Yep. Think of your VMI, really solid stuff for the first 20 minutes, and then just very early in this second half. Just had a very difficult time sustaining or dealing with the size, physicality, athleticism of Missouri at this sustained pace. There's another easy throwdown for Anthony Robinson, a 20-point game for the junior.
And even though Johnson's gotten 10 in the first half, in the second half, you know, he hasn't dominated. He can get the same kind of looks. Missouri gets credit for kind of putting the clamps on him, especially early in the half.
Well, Porter gets credit for the rebound there. He took it away from Mitchell. Mitchell's already got the double-double. So I think he let his partner have it that time.
I kind of like this lineup on the floor for Missouri. It's long, it's quick. I could see them playing with these 5 guys sometimes.
You got the returners in Mitchell and Robinson, and then the 3 first-year Tigers, Stone, Porter, and Mack. Well, with this group on the floor, they've stretched this advantage to 27. They got 94 and counting inside of 3 to play in this second half. Waning minutes of this one. Ildizolu going to the free throw line. That's the junior from Istanbul, and he'll be there when we return. Mizzou, of years at Duke, hit the transfer portal ahead of last season. Remember, coming out of high school, he took a visit to Missouri, comes back home, plays with his good buddy Tamar Bates last year. They win 22 games. This season, he's the engine. He's the focal point offensively.
I think Dennis Gates, he talked to us about how thrilled he was that his team found a way to win Friday night in that close game. I think he'll be equally pleased with today's effort in a grind-it-out sort of way that we talked about. There was never a 14-0 run in this game. There was never a time where Mizzou just blitzed VMI, and yet here we are in a 27-point spread.
Just ultimately wore them down and overwhelmed them. Porter from the free throw line. That's Javon Porter now with 8.
Yeah, and you mentioned those 3 guys, Mack, Porter, and coming off the bench, the new guys. And they've almost all to Stone, and they've almost all got double-figure scoring.
Oh, there's some length, by the way. The freshman, Nick Randall, knocks that pass down, leads to the run out. Jaden Stone has had a couple of throwdowns in transition. Missouri has just been, they have gotten out and run in transition in this second half. So that's now 13 steals. And they're a basket away from hitting 100 for the first time this season.
But Stone's got 14, Mack's got 14, Porter has 8. Cruz off the bench, double figures with 14, 2 of 4 from deep. Tatum's been good today for VMI as well, the young freshman who kind of struggled against USI on Friday night, 1 of 5 from deep. He's kind of rebounded, 14 points, second leading scorer, only other guy in double figures after Johnson's 31. You think this has been a good road trip for TJ Johnson? He's averaged 31 and a half. My goodness, on the road.
Yeah, what a trip out to the Midwest. And the man sitting next to him, Ricky Bradley Jr. That looks like that's going to be quite a tandem in the SoCon this year. They can fill it up. T.O. Barrett, little no-look to Northweather. Got his own miss. This is the freshman Randall from St. Louis. Northweather lets it fly. Corner 3. Book it. And Missouri goes over 100. 1:34 to go. Dennis Gates called the timeout. And we will step aside one last time in Columbia. Let's go around the country and around the SEC. our scores from the weekend. You got Alabama up at the top there, scored 103 against St. John's of the Garden yesterday in a big win.
Yeah, Alabama, ho-hum, they shot 35 threes. I think they made 13. I didn't think Arkansas played particularly well at Michigan State, and yet they lost by only 3. Acuff and Thomas both had 16. That's a big win for Vanderbilt. I think people are probably... One of the questions this season, I think, from the SEC, who might be the next Vanderbilt? It might be Vanderbilt. And then Oklahoma lost on the road at Gonzaga, and then following us today, South Carolina, Southern Miss. South Carolina leads in that series. But
so when you say who is the next Vanderbilt, well, we'll take a look really quick at Missouri's upcoming schedule. So they play Minnesota next.
Yeah.
So that is going to be their first game against a power conference opponent. You see, the tail end of November, Dennis Yates is going to play his...
I like that.
Yeah, his old team that he coached, Cleveland State. So when you say the next Vanderbilt, you mean a team that maybe exceeds expectations. Kind of hard for that to happen because basically the whole conference got in the dang tournament a year ago. So there's only...
Yeah. Well,
only a couple of teams that could exceed expectations.
I'll put it this way. I know Vanderbilt was picked dead last. So think about graphically 16 teams, 8 on the left side, 8 on the right side. Who on that right side can finish the year in the top tier?
They got Vandy slotted 11 in the preseason poll. Again,
they're on the right side.
Yeah, based on how last year played out. You finish 11th in this league. Heck, you could be very well in the tournament.
Do you think, Kevin, if you had asked Andrew Wilson, you're going to go on the road twice this weekend, one of them at Missouri, and you're going to come away with a split, I think he'd be pretty pleased.
That was a very important tone setter to begin this season for VMI. Here's a lob and a reverse slam. Count it. It's Nick Randall, the high-flying rookie.
I'm telling you, everybody was up on the bench. They were like out on the floor. Take another. This is a play called out of the timeout. Weak side lob with an up screen. And after he made this, I don't know if we can see. Look at everybody on the bench. Look at the gray team.
ESPN 100 recruit, so coming out of high school, he's one of the top 100 rated players this class of 2025. #1 player in the state from right down the road in St. Louis. Nick Randall, he and Aaron Rowe, the 2 freshmen on this roster.
And there's no such thing as a bad minute as a freshman. I don't care what the score is. Make the most of your opportunity.
You know what every freshman wants. They just want playing time. Just want to get on the floor. So Randall here in this now trampling of VMI has helped his team score 104. Back to VMI though. I'm with you. I think the upside is high for this team. I mean, VMI historically rarely vies for conference titles. I mean, they could very well be a top half of the league team. You got a whole lot of buy-in from these players. 12 returned from their 15-win season a year ago, including the preseason player of the year. That's Ricky Bradley, who has missed the first 3 games. He should be back soon. So the sky's the limit for VMI. Meanwhile, for Missouri, it shoots better than 55% from the floor for a 3rd straight game to open up the year. They're going to go 3-0 before they face Minnesota in a couple of days. And that would be their first power conference challenge of the season.
Yeah, Dennis Gates, he knows his team is going to have to play better defense coming out of the gates of a game.
So that's it. Mizzou wins it 106-68.